Revenge films.
I am Melanie Day. I lost one of my legs when I was 5 after suffering from pediatric cancer. I went through a lot of hardship, but my family and friends supported me so much. Also, with my light and easy-to-move prosthetic leg, I don't have a lot of problems going about my daily life. When I became a high school student, I met my boyfriend named Skylar. He lost his dad when he was little, so he understood my feelings a lot. His mom seemed to like me too. She welcomed me every time I visited her home. So when Skylar proposed to me, I was truly happy to be part of his wonderful family. But as soon as we got married, my mother-in-law started to turn on me. Melanie, do you wash that bit that looks like a robot? That bit at the end of your prosthetic leg? I do wash it. I've noticed that your prosthetic leg smells, doesn't it? It's already embarrassing for my Skylar to have a wife with a prosthetic leg. Make sure to look nicer so you don't embarrass my son even more, okay? No one's ever said anything like that to me before. I was really hurt. My mother-in-law kept on being horrible to me. I was on the verge of a breakdown, so I spoke to my husband about the situation.
My gosh, my mom's doing something like that to you? Leave it to me.
A week later, Skylar called his mom over to our home. What is it you want to talk about?
I know you're being horrible to Mel when I'm not around, Mom. Stop it right now. If you don't, we'll move far away from here, and we'll not come to see you even on your deathbed. I'll even refuse to go to your funeral.
What? It's her! Melanie told you lies, Skylar, didn't she?
No, Mom. Listen to this.
Then Skylar took out his phone and pressed the play button. It was a recording of my mother-in-law saying abusive words to me. I thought if my son marries a girl like you, people would think I'm a wonderful mom to put up with someone like you. But you walk like a normal person, so no one knows you have a prosthetic leg. Why can't you walk more disabled? What's this? I've never heard her say that. I looked at her face and it was so pale. I'm sure I was talking to Melanie, but how?
I guess from what Melanie told me that your abusive behavior must be so bad, so I set up our house phone to transfer all the calls from you to my phone. The person who answered the phone was actually me. As soon as I received the call, you started shouting, thinking it was Melanie, not me.
You tricked your own mother?
I don't care what you think. I will have nothing whatsoever to do with you if you don't stop abusing my wife!
After hearing all that, my mother-in-law reluctantly apologized, saying, I won't do that again. I'm sorry, Melanie. Since then, she's become noticeably nicer. I felt so glad that I spoke to Skylar about it. Soon after, I fell pregnant, perhaps because I was free of stress caused by my mother-in-law. I had always wanted a baby, so I was overjoyed. Even my mother-in-law was happy. By then, she and I were getting along as if nothing had happened. Melanie, are you suffering from morning sickness? Why don't you lay down for a while? I'll do the house chores. Since she lived close by, she popped in often to look after me. All of this changed when I went into the last month of pregnancy. One day, my mother-in-law called me while she was doing chores in our home, and I was taking a nap. Can you change the light bulb? It's gone out. My mother-in-law is pretty small, and I was more than average height. Even though I was heavily pregnant, I thought it was okay to do that. So I stood on a chair and started to change the bulb. All of a sudden, a leg of the chair I was standing on broke and I fell. Melanie, are you okay? As she was saying this, she looked like she was grinning. I think so. As I was trying to get up, I felt a sharp pain in my stomach. Please! My stomach! Call an ambulance! But if I call an ambulance in the middle of the day, what would people say? I wanted to call 911 as soon as possible, but she kept on talking. Your stomach is hurting because the baby just got jittery. So if you stay still for a while, it will go, you know. She was going on and on like that and didn't call for help. I took my phone out of my pocket and said to her, "I'll call an ambulance," and started to press 911. Then, with a furious rage, my mother-in-law slapped my phone and it flew off. "I won't let you call an ambulance. They might actually manage to save the baby." What the? When I came to, I was in a hospital.
Are you alright?
There he was, Skylar, on my bedside, looking very worried. Behind him was my mother-in-law with a sulky face. What happened? The baby! Is our baby okay? My bulging belly, which was so visible even when I was lying down, was now flat. The baby is doing fine, but she's still too small, so she's in the ICU. Thank heavens! Tears started to flow with relief.
I'm so sorry. It was all my mom's fault.
What Skylar told me then made my spine shiver. First, how I ended up in the hospital safely. I thought I was calling 911, but I was losing consciousness, so I mistakenly pressed the phone record button and called my husband. Luckily, Skylar was using his phone during his lunch break, so he answered the phone and learned what was happening. When Skylar arrived at the hospital, my mother-in-law said to him, "I told her it was dangerous, but I couldn't stop her. The chair must have broken because of her weight." She made excuses like that. She did something to the chair so it was easily broken. She was sulking behind Skylar, but finally opened her mouth. "I did it for you, Skylar! You don't want a child with cancer like Melanie, right? What if an arm or a leg needs to be cut off like hers? I know you need a bit of money to keep the prosthetic leg in good condition. I won't let Melanie spend any of your hard-earned money. She has the nerve of marrying you when she's disabled, let alone having your child. I don't want a grandchild born from a disabled person."
Unbelievable! You said you would apologize, pay the money for her prosthetic leg, and the compensation.
Money for my prosthetic leg?
I'm sorry your prosthetic leg got damaged when you fell from the chair.
No, it was a huge shock. It was partially paid for by the money we received from the government, but the rest was paid for by my parents. It symbolized how much they loved and cared for me. They wanted me to never be inconvenienced, so they paid extra money to have a special prosthetic leg. What are you complaining about? The baby is born safely and you weren't hurt, so you can't accuse me of anything. I would normally call the police straight away if it wasn't for my husband. But she's still Skylar's mom and our newborn baby's grandmother. While I was wondering what to do, Skylar spoke.
I will have nothing to do with my mother from now on.
What are you saying? I'll be on my own. You have to look after me when I get older. You're my only son.
Cut it out! You're such a bitch! We don't want any money from you! Just get out of our lives! We will never, ever see you again! And that includes our baby!
What? I promise, I'll never do things like this. So please, don't be like that. I'll sell my house to pay for the prosthetic leg and the compensation. Forgive me, please. In the end, Skylar led her to believe we had forgiven her, so she would pay for my new prosthetic leg and some compensation. Skylar quit his job, and we moved away without telling his mom where we were moving to. Skylar told a distant relative, who he could trust, where we moved to, making him promise that he would never tell my mother-in-law. A few months later, we heard from that relative that my mother-in-law sold the house and moved into a shabby old apartment. She complains to everyone, saying, "My son tricked me and robbed me of my money." She was leading a self-destructive life, not watching what she was eating and drinking. Eventually, she developed diabetes, which caused her to lose a leg. "I can't work without a leg. I don't have money. I can't live on my own. Please, help me." I saw a message like that on my husband's phone, but I just ignored it. He told me that I never needed to deal with my mother-in-law ever again. So I guess I'm right in not giving her a hand, right? Today, I live with my husband and our healthy daughter. The three of us are very happy.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.